I believe I'm going to convince you with my presentation, but while also they are setting up my presentation, I would like to say that I'm basically going to talk about digital transformation at the corporate level. And based on my experience with my previous organizations, with working with different management and director generals, I have come to realize that for an organization to transform, in any kind of transformation, be it digital or anything, it needs a lot of inputs from the human resource. And I would like to say that for human resource to contribute towards transformation, in any form of transformation, and for this case, it's digital transformation, you as HR experts need to sit at the high table. And as now we are talking about digital transformation, but what has been the impetus for digital transformation? And for this particular case, I will be talking about COVID-19. While we might be saying COVID-19 was a bad thing, and it's true, because we lost a lot of our loved ones, but for me, COVID-19 was an impetus for digital transformation. And therefore, I'll talk a little bit about ways and means to use HR-based practices to ensure successful rollout of digital transformation. I wanted to say a little bit about the evolution, but my colleagues have said it a lot about it. So I'm going to skip some of the, but let me come to this slide. You see, HR predominantly, we have been transactional. As we all have said, we were task-based, looking at the welfare issues, labor relations, doing some managing training and development, compliance issues and all that. But now we have to look at HR in a different perspective. That is HR at the transformational perspective. And it is the reason why we are here, because now HR has the role to transform the organization. That's why we are talking about organizational effectiveness, human resource information system. We're talking about culture change. We're talking about shared services. We're talking about HR business partnership. So we have to look ourselves as transformational than transactional. So therefore, the word today for us to achieve digital transformation demand us to be growth enabler and change influencers. We are supposed to be credible business partner with business acumen. So there's no way you'll be able to contribute towards digital transformation if you are just a routine person sitting at the back. You need to have a business acumen. You need to know what your business is all about, and you need to be in the forefront, but also thought and opinion leaders. Now, like I said, we are looking at COVID-19 as an impetus for digital transformation because we all know that during COVID-19, we had a usual business operation disrupted. Working conditions as well as HR functions were disrupted, specifically on the area of staffing. We had layoff, we had pay cuts. Performance management was a challenge because now you have people working from home. How do you manage performance? And how do you create a work environment where people will be able to work when they are at home? Challenges associated with learning and development. Now we could not be able to bring people together for the training, for example. We had to go for virtual training, virtual meetings. Compensation was also a problem because now we have decrease in revenue because you cannot do business. When you talk about an industry like mine, the aviation sector, we had our budget, our revenue reduced by 50%. So how do you compensate your employees? How do you remunerate them? Safety and health issues. COVID-19 treatment being part of the health insurance packages was a problem because health insurance were saying COVID-19 treatment was not part of the package. So employee relations was hindered because now people were working from wherever location and then they could not be at the same location. Therefore, issues of financial difficulties I have just mentioned. Now, digitization was now a fallback position because digitization was seen as a key for business sustainability. Now, digitization was key for business growth, customer experience, and business resilience. So I was asking myself, what is digital transformation? This morning, Professor just gave us a definition. So it's almost the same, that using digital technologies to create or modify existing business process, culture, customer experience to meet changing business and market requirements. Now, if we want to adopt the best HR practices to ensure successful rollout of digital transformation programs, I will talk about this giving experience of my own organization. First of all, we need to have a strategy. Definitely, as an HR person, you must have an HR strategy, which will define, among other things, what are your KPIs, what are your objectives, what are your goals in terms of digital transformation. So you need to have a KPI, objectives that can be measured. And then the other thing is you have to assess your organizational governance system. Is it really in support of the digital transformation? For example, in my organization, we had to look at the contribution of ICT unit, which was under another directorate. So we had to move it under the Director General so that to give it an importance. So governance system, organization structure. You have to assess your ICT and non-ICT skill set to ascertain compatibility to the digital transformation. You cannot achieve digital transformation without having these enablers in good shape. And the other best HR practice is to, digital transformation is not about developing systems here and there. It's just a totality of change of the whole systems and the connectivity and the interoperability and seamless connection in the organization. So it needs a culture change. So we had to actually come up with a culture change programs where we would preach and talk to our employees why we are going digital. Thank you. And then we had to develop an awareness creation programs. We had to make a digital transformation a way of life. We had even to change in our contract, even when we issue the employment contract, when we employ people, one of the requirements was to get someone who has an appetite in digital transformation and software and all that kind of stuff. So the path that we went through, for example, in my organization, when we started, we had only 20% automation of business processes. And we had in our HR strategy that come June 2023, we must achieve 80% of automation of business processes. And we are going to assess in June, but I believe as we will be achieving around 90% of business automated. And in terms of how we went through, as I said, we had a HR strategy, we improved the governance systems, we reviewed our relevant ICT policies to make sure that they are incompatible with current trends, but also we prepared an implementation plan for automation. Then we launched a countrywide culture change program with emphasis on adaptation of new way of doing business. So in terms of our successes, we have managed to create a system which is called oversight, safety oversight facilitated integration program, SOFIA, where we have improved our communication between our air traffic management officers with the pilots and during the air navigation services. But also we have deployed a system called e-permit where in the past we had a manual e-permit. We know all the aircraft that are flying in our airspace, and those who are coming to land, they need to have a permit. So it was manual. Now, everybody, whoever he is in America, in UK, can apply an e-permit to pass in our airspace without any problem. This is done online. Then we deployed a system that we call a Top Sky for air navigation services. But also, for example, for my colleagues from Tanzania, we have shared services which are already in place through the e-government. For example, e-office has helped us a lot. We have ERMS, Enterprise Resource Suite. But also, for bringing an appetite on the digitization process, we created an intranet where an employee can launch in the system through one window, this one. So if you want to get an information, it will be posted here, and by posting here, you force employees to go to this and to be interested with some of these applications that we use. I've talked about e-office, we have talked about the staff email, ERMS, the Sophia, all the system can be found in one page, as I've just shared to you. But also we have like some simple processes like air ticket. Someone want to travel, then you can go to an air ticket system and then apply and everything goes. So we use this platform also to announce for our best workers. This one guy, is the annual best worker, is our ICT guy who has helped us a lot to reach where we are today. Of course, the challenges are normal: resistance to change, choice of technology, internal developed versus on shelf. Which system should we go? Would we develop yourself or we go on shelf? Huge investment cost, but also adaptation to the rapid change of technology. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.